Level 1. The favor. It starts with a phone call from a friend, someone you grew up with, someone who trusts you, someone whose brother got into a situation, a bar fight that went further than it should have, a car that hit something it shouldn't have, a photo that exists somewhere it shouldn't. Nothing organized crime, nothing federal, just a mess that a normal person doesn't know how to clean up. You make a few calls. You know someone who knows someone. You talk to the right person, say the right things, move a little money in the right direction. 3 days later, the problem is gone. No police report, no headlines, nothing. Your friend is grateful, embarrassingly grateful. He offers you money. You wave it off. You tell him it was nothing, but it wasn't nothing. You felt something during those 3 days. A clarity, a purpose, a sense that you are unusually good at navigating the space between what is legal and what is necessary. Most people panic when things go wrong. You got calm, you got methodical, you got results. Word travels. It always does. A month later, someone else calls, a colleague of your friend. A small problem, they say, nothing serious. They heard you were helpful. You help. You don't have a name for what you do yet. You're just someone people call when things go wrong. You're just careful, discreet, connected. You have no idea what you're becoming. Level 2. The professional. You have clients now, not many, 6, maybe 7, but they are not small people. A city councilor whose personal life would end his career if it became public. A property developer who needs certain permits approved without certain questions being asked. A socialite whose son did something at a private party that cannot under any circumstances reach the press. You charge for your services now, not openly. There are no invoices, no contracts, no paper trail of any kind. Money moves through introductions, through favors returned, through envelopes left in the right places. You have a number in your head for every type of problem. Small problems cost small numbers. Large problems cost large numbers. Problems that could put someone in prison cost numbers that make people go quiet on the phone for a moment before they agree. You have developed a system. The first thing you do with every problem is assess who else knows. A secret held by one person is a secret. A secret held by 3 people is a liability. A secret held by 10 people is already a story. Your job is to reduce the number before it becomes a story. You pay some people. You threaten others. Not with violence. That's crude, and it creates more problems than it solves. You threaten with information. Everyone has something they want kept quiet. You find it. You hold it. You never use it unless you have to. The fact that you have it is usually enough. You are good at this, better than you expected. You have a talent for reading people, for finding the pressure point, for knowing exactly what someone needs to hear to cooperate. You tell yourself you are providing a service. You tell yourself the world runs on this. You are not wrong. Level 3. The specialist. Bigger clients find you. You don't advertise. You never have. The clients find each other first, at dinners and boardrooms and golf courses, and then one of them mentions your name quietly, and then another one calls. A senator whose chief of staff has been skimming campaign funds and is now threatening to go public unless he's paid off. A pharmaceutical CEO whose clinical trial data has been manipulated and a whistleblower inside the company knows. A media executive whose network has been sitting on a story about a government official. But now the official wants the story killed and is willing to pay generously. These are not small problems. These problems have lawyers on the other side, journalists, sometimes federal investigators circling the edges. You cannot solve these with a phone call and an envelope. You have built a network over 3 years, journalists who owe you, police officers who have accepted your money and are now yours, lawyers who walk both sides of the line, private investigators who can find anything on anyone, a man who specializes in digital erasure, photographs, emails, records, metadata. A woman who handles what she calls narrative management, which means she plants stories, kills stories, and shapes what the public believes without the public ever knowing anyone shaped it. You coordinate all of them. You are the center of a wheel that has no name and no address. The senator's problem disappears. The whistleblower signs an NDA worth enough money to guarantee silence. The media story gets quietly redirected toward a less damaging angle. You are paid more money in a single month than most people earn in 5 years. You eat dinner alone most nights. You have learned not to have close friends. Close friends ask questions. Close friends notice things. Close friends become complications. This is the price. You have decided it is worth it. Level 4. The cleaner. Someone died, not by your hand, never by your hand. You do not do that. You have always been clear about that. But someone with access to information that could destroy a very powerful man had an accident. And now there is a body and an apartment full of documents and a laptop that cannot be found by the wrong people and a family who is going to start asking questions very soon. You have 4 hours. You make calls you have never made before. You cross lines you told yourself you would never cross. Not because you want to, because the alternative is that the man who pays you goes to prison, and when he goes to prison, he takes your name with him. And your name is attached to 15 years of problems. You may disappear for people who are not the kind of people who go down alone. You have no choice. That is what you tell yourself. The apartment is cleaned, not by you. You are never physically present at anything, but by people you called, who called other people, who arrived with equipment and left with bags and asked no questions because they were paid enough not to have questions. The laptop is destroyed. The documents are gone. The narrative is shaped. An accident. A history of health problems. Nothing suspicious. The family grieves. The investigation goes nowhere. The powerful man sleeps soundly. You do not sleep at all. This is the level where the work changes. Before this, you were removing embarrassments. Now you are removing evidence. The law has a different word for that. So does your conscience on the nights when it still speaks. You crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. The people who hired you know that. That knowledge runs in both directions now. You need them to stay safe. They need you to stay silent. You are no longer just their fixer. You are also their secret. Level 5. The ghost. You have not used your real name in 3 years, not because you are hiding, because you have been systematically removed. The people you work for are not merely powerful. They are the architecture of power. Politicians who decide which wars get funded, financiers who move markets with a phone call, media owners who determine what a country believes is true. They do not have problems in the ordinary sense. They have threats to the systems they control, and you are the person they call when those systems are threatened. You live well. You live quietly. You live in a city where no one knows your face. You travel on documents that are technically real and functionally untraceable. You have accounts in places that do not cooperate with international financial investigations. You have an exit plan for 7 different scenarios. You have memorized it. You work through intermediaries now. No one you instruct has ever met you in person. No one who has met you knows your real name. The people at the top, your clients, communicate through channels so layered that even if someone pulled the thread, they would unravel for years before finding anything that pointed anywhere real. You have helped cover election interference. You have helped discredit prosecutors who got too close to the wrong people. You have helped move money that funded things you do not ask about. You know things about the people who run the world that would end governments. That knowledge is your only real protection. They cannot remove you because removing you would require trusting someone else with everything you know. And no one trusts anyone at this level. You are not powerful. You have never been powerful. Power is visible. You are the opposite of visible. You are the space between powerful people and the consequences they should face but never do. Some nights you try to remember the city councilor, the first real client, the small problem that felt like nothing. You try to trace the line from that phone call to this room, to this life, to the person sitting in a city with no name doing work that officially doesn't exist. The line is there. It is perfectly straight. Every step made sense at the time. Every line crossed felt necessary in the moment. The first favor, the first payment, the first secret held over someone, the first document destroyed, the first time you told yourself you had no choice. You always had a choice. You simply kept choosing this. Somewhere right now, someone is being asked for a favor, a small one, a friend in a difficult situation, nothing serious, nothing that feels like the beginning of anything. They are good at staying calm when others panic. They are good at knowing who to call. They are good at finding the pressure point, the angle, the solution no one else could see. They have no idea there is a word for what they're about to become. They have no idea where the first favor leads. They'll find out. They always do. The cycle begins again.